So you surprised the hell out of everybody last year, and you make the playoffs, and everybody's rooting for you, including me. And I said you had a legitimate chance of making a run and giving the Toronto Raptors some trouble. But then we end up here, 11-14 for the Orlando Magic on the East Coast. This is a Magic review on what the hell they need to do right now. I keep saying it, and I'll say it again. They have a troublesome spot with scoring, all right, even though they have some legit scores. And part of the problem no one's talking about, because there's scores on this team, it happens to be the offense. I don't think the offense that the coach has, Mr. Steve Clifford, who's a great defensive coach, it looks like he has a lot of defensive minds on as his assistant, doesn't have the offense that is rated properly for this team to be great on the offensive side, okay? Even though there is a lot of open plays where I see players are open. For instance, Markelle Fultz is open quite a bit. It's like his teammates don't have confidence. Evan Fournier is a one-track minder. Reminds me of Jerry, again, doesn't play like him. Just has that Jerry Stackhouse mindset. When I get the ball, I'm going to score it. That's why I see too much from Fournier, and why I say I think I move Fournier to the bench. Now, what should they do with this roster? Right now, Markelle Fultz is having a hell of a season. He is, for me, a top 5 defensive guard in the NBA. Okay, that's hard to say. That's hard to do. Okay, his offense hasn't come along, but he's certainly a great defender, and that will get him paychecks in this league. However, it will not help this team totally. I think they don't need to make a big trade as far as gutting the team. I think they need to make small trades and small pickups. I want to quickly go over. I just did a video on the West Side, and I discussed some of the available players, right? Players that were available that could possibly they could trade for. There's a guy that sticks on my mind. I'm going to open up another screen here, and I should have had it open already. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I really want to see Dennis Smith Jr., okay? I want to see Dennis Smith Jr. on this team. I'll tell you why. I think despite Markelle Fultz's successes as a point guard this year, I think he may be better suited off the ball, or maybe coming off of a bench role. I know it's hard for people to look at me and say, are you serious right now? He can create. Okay? Markelle can create. He's great at that. However, they're not giving me too much confidence with the offense. And when he creates, it's a little bit forced. I want a guy that does it a little bit easier within the flow, and I want an all-star type of talent. I think Markelle Fultz right now is maybe if he continues to improve his shot, a one-time all-star with working real hard is all because of his shot, okay? And I do think there could be, if you look at the Portland Trailblazers, even though their record is horrible, an opportunity to have that type of lineup of maybe a Markelle Fultz with Dennis Smith Jr., who is really, really down right now, has a lot of issues that are going on with him. However, a change of pace with a new team and a new market that caters to players of his sort, I think would be amazing. Obviously, you can see the weight. 205 for Dennis versus Alonzo Trier, who's 6'4", 200, needs to shave the weight. I think it'll take a year for him to get in fully great shape like he was back in the day. But I think Dennis Smith Jr. is somebody that they need to look at, may be able to get on the cheap. If I look at the Magic roster, let me just go there. Let's go back to the Magic roster. And this is going to be a more in-depth review. Who could they move for this kid, right? Because I do like Mike Carter Williams Jr. as the guard. The guy can do it all. I mean, I think Wes Iwundu, I mean, this is the type of stuff they do. I just don't want to move any of the core players. I think you may have to give up DJ Augustine. And he's so important to the team. He is so important to this team. You know what? I don't think the Knicks would take him. Maybe you do an Aminu, right? I mentioned Aminu in a similar ilk in his younger days. I got negative comments for guys You're a basketball casual if you don't know Aminu back way in the day was a Jonathan Isaac-esque player, okay? Not as much offensive Isaac, not as much handle in this day and age, but when he came out of high school and when he was at Wake Forest, that's the type of player he was, all right? He was a Jonathan Isaac type of player. Now Jonathan Isaac has become the best defensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league, but he'll never be a scorer. Sorry, he'll never be a scorer. As I mentioned, he will be one of the pillars. He won't be the pillar, in my opinion, okay? Again, still young, can prove me wrong. I hope he does. So Markelle Fultz, I think pairing him up with another guard, I said DJ Augustine, but maybe could you do an Aminu? And because of Dennis Smith Jr.'s ranking right now, or how low he is, hit while the iron's hot, trade a Wes Iwundu and Aminu for Mr. Smith Jr. I can tell you what you can do on the back end to get some size back. There's several players available. I think that's one of the trades you got to look at, okay? Other than that, big talk about Jamal Crawford. All right? As a free agent, Jamal Crawford is out there. I would go ahead and grab him. After I make that trade, I'll go ahead and grab Mr. Jamal Crawford. Again, I'm trying to help out the goddamn Magic because I'm in this area, so I want them to be successful. Okay, I want them to be successful, and if I look at this free agent look, Jamal Crawford's there, J.R. Smith is there. There's a couple guys that are available right now that can help. And I tell you, once you move Aminu, okay, yeah, Jared Bayless, all right, he's another guy that can shoot the three. Improve, get better, because really, this is your chance in the East. It's weak, right? It's kind of weak. Milwaukee Bucks is probably the best team in the NBA right now. As I mentioned, they're gonna be scary, but it's kind of weak. So try to get what you can. Go for broke right now. Go for broke if you are the Orlando Magic. I'll also like Kenneth Faried, right? If you move Amino, get Kenneth Faried in there. Get a big another defensive power forward. Okay, Isaac plays like the forward position. He switches between the power forward and the small forward position. Get Faried in there, another big defensive help. That's an improvement. Take it to the house. Run with that. All right. Really would like to see something like that happen for this team. All right. Everyone's talking about DeMar DeRozan. All right. Who could you really move to get DeMar DeRozan? So these are all the trades that are not going to happen. They're not going to make this many moves, right? But I think it'd be great if they did, right? Go ahead and grab Dennis Smith Jr., trade him for Amino and Wes, okay? If you need to do two, all right? Maybe some cash. Go ahead and nab Jamal Crawford off of free agency, okay? And then DeMar DeRozan, all right? I love Evan Fournier. I think Evan Fournier is a more consistent player and a better three-point shooter than DeMar DeRozan. But if you have the opportunity to get a talent like DeMar DeRozan on this team, even with all that Evan Fournier does, and Evan Fournier has Spur written all over him, could you do a straight-up trade for Evan Fournier and Mr. DeMar DeRozan? I think you may be able to get that done. It would hurt the Magic. I'm not going to lie to you. Evan Fournier is let me show you how critical he is. People are sleeping on Evan Fournier. He's not a bum, guys. Evan Fournier is not a bum, man. He's averaging 15, 16. Let's see stats. Let's get there. Because I hate people talking. I'm a stat guy. I don't gotta talk, right? I let the stats speak for itself. Let's see the stats. What do we got? Come on. All right, let's go up. This is retarded. Oh. Well, I should have done this in the video. All right, so stat-wise. Season this year, 20 points per game, guys. Oh, I shouldn't have looked at this. Now I'm going to change my mind. Oh, I can't look at this. He got me. 44% from 3. 48% from, 83%. I'm sorry. I don't think DeMar DeRozan can match this guy right now. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh. All right, so just jacked me up. Does DeMar DeRozan give you more than that, right? Oh man, that's tough. Who else could they move to get DeMar DeRozan? All right, let's look at the roster. Everyone's talking about Mo Bamba this, Mo Bamba that. No, Mo Bamba's a cornerstone. Just needs a better point guard. The reason why their offense is not flowing as good as it should be is that they don't have a legit point guard. Okay, Markelle Fultz, with all the great things he's doing this season, is not a legitimate point guard. I'm sorry. Okay, he's not. He's a guard. He's doing a great job. Could he come off the bench? Yes. Do I like him as a starter better? Yes, I do. I do like him as a starter. And I think, like I said, look at the 3-point percentage. Jesus Christ. 22%. God forgive him. But shooting 47 from the field goal percentage. Needs to get the free throws up about 80%. 80%, I'm giving him that. But look at the assists. Four assists. 12 points per game. All right. But he is one of the better defending guards in the league. And you can respect that, right? You can respect that and appreciate that. I'm going to jump down back over to the Knicks and look at what we get with Dennis Smith Jr., all right? Career-wise, don't look at this year. He's horrible this year. He's horrible, all right? It's horrible. It's sad to see. Let's look at career-wise. He's going to at least give you 6-7 assists. He's an explosive player. Magic, go out and get Dennis Smith Jr., all right? Go out and get him 13 points a game, almost 5 assists, all right? I think he's a 6-assist guy. Shameful that he's not shooting as well. I just think he's on the wrong teams with the wrong offense. I think him and Steve Alford will form a good relationship. Dennis Smith Jr. is their guy, no doubt about it. I know players, and he would fit in perfectly with the Magic with a nice big guard lineup. Maybe you go Fournier. Maybe you go Fultz. You go Dennis Smith Jr. You go Isaac at the 4, and you go Vooch. But I'm messing up. You can't do that. You can't do that because the guy that I love so much that everyone wants to trade is Aaron Gordon, all right? I love Aaron Gordon. I just think the offense, he is a combination of Sean Marion and Blake Griffin. That's where he should be in his progression. I said that a million times. He is a combination of those two. He's not consistent enough. Let's see what he's doing this season. He needs a guard to create and open up the floor for him, all right? He needs that, and that's why I said Dennis Smith Jr. can do that. When he puts his mind to it, Dennis Smith Jr. can be a 6 or 7 assists a game type of guy. I'm saying that because I don't want them to gut their roster to get some of these guys. Shooting 31% from 3. He's averaging 14 points per game, 8 rebounds, almost a double, 3 assists. Again, career-wise, he's above his career averages. He's shown improvement every year. He has, and and I appreciate that. Only one kudos there at 43% from field goal line. But again, improved every year. Needs to get better at the 3-point line. I think you keep that. I think you keep Mr. Aaron Gordon. I wouldn't move him. I like this big lineup. But so back to it. I think the guard help is where they need. Then sign free agents, right? I would move a Windu. I would move Melvin Frazier Jr. Emil Jefferson. These are guys, small bait here, right? Aminu, move them, right? Move them. Go out and get Crawford. Go out and get Dennis Smith Jr. If you want a little bit of headache, go ahead and look at J.R. Smith. Go ahead and sign Kenneth Faried. All right, there's another team that can use Kenneth Faried in there. A little bit of muscle to help off of the bench to support Aaron Gordon or Jonathan Isaac. I want some more muscle. I know Ken Birch is there, but I think Mr. Kenneth Faried brings another level to this team. I would keep the rest of this roster and then keep adding on these little small foundations. DeMar DeRozan, oh man, it's Fournier's stats are ridiculous. I tell you what though, if you give me Rudy Gay and DeMar DeRozan for Fournier, oh, that hurts me. Magic fans, this is tough, bro. This is tough. But if you give me those two, right? Give me Fournier. I'll give you Fournier, who's having a career season. And you give me, I'm just trying to see what Rudy Gay's doing. Let's see what DeMar's doing. There's no way he's having a better season than Evan Fournier. There's no way. I mean, there's no way. I'm sorry. 3-point already lower, right? It's still 50% for field goal, but 3-point is 33%, right? 44%. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're about equal. It'll be an even trade, even though he's shooting a lower percent. He's just a more dynamic scorer. Um, Maybe a little bit younger. Go ahead and grab Rudy Gay. What's Rudy Gay doing? Or maybe Trey Lyles. Maybe Trey Lyles. I'll take Trey Lyles. I'll take Trey Lyles and DeMar DeRozan for Fournier. I would take that. I would take that. And the Spurs don't need Fournier necessarily. I don't think they want Mo Bamba either. Rudy Gay. Oh, Rudy, you went down. Okay, I thought he had that Robert Horry in him where he's shooting good from 3-point line. So I would do DeRozan and maybe Trey Lyles, a young prospect who could stretch the floor for Fournier, even though this team would probably be begging for Mo Bamba. They would probably say, "Give me Mo Bamba." Would I move Mo Bamba? Yeah. All right, we'll leave it at that. All for sports. Again, I went into a lot of mumbles there because it's tough. Because I think Fournier is their biggest piece. I think Fournier is a guy a lot of teams would want. All right, and he's done great, but he's just so one track focused. When he gets the ball, it doesn't look to pass. He doesn't open up the offense enough, right? But he's a legit scorer. They're gonna miss his 3-point shooting. So the other play, one last thing before I let this thing go. All right, so I mentioned some cheap plays. There's a Drew Holiday out there, right? There is a Drew Holiday out there. Could you move Drew Holiday to this team, right? You may have to give up Fultz for Drew Holiday, all right? You may, but I don't even think they would want him. They got too many guards on that team. I mean, maybe a Mo Bamba for Drew Holiday. Mo Bamba, Drew Holiday. Throw an Okafor there too, and I'll make the trade. Forget about it. I love Bamba. I think he's going to be a superstar in this league from a defensive standpoint. Just needs a bright opportunity and team to play with. If he was with James Harden, he would look like a gold mine, okay? He just doesn't have those type of guys on his team, and they're not utilizing him correctly, all right? Mo Bamba's a legit superstar, just is not being utilized correctly. You know the magic and how they do it. Oladipo was there. Several players have been there and left and done great things, and that's what's going to happen if they move Mo Bamba. However, if you can give me Drew Holiday and an Okafor for Mo Bamba, but then you lose your defensive prowess, the big shot blocking guy. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. You gotta to get something, you gotta lose something, and that's probably what you need to do if you need to do that. The other guy on that same New Orleans Pelicans roster, see if you can get JJ Redick. Who could you move to get JJ Redick? Is if you get Dennis Smith Jr., is DJ Augustine and maybe a Kem Birch available for a quick trade? They would probably waive Augustine and see if you can grab him back. I don't know if you're able to do that, but DJ Augustine for JJ Redick, could you get him? Think about it. JJ Redick is a pretty good prospect to add on with Terrence Ross, gives you the 3-point shooting. In case you lose Mr. Evan Fournier. Lots of movement there, right? That's crazy. All that's not going to happen, but there is an opportunity to make this team better without moving. I think the core is Markelle Fultz, Aaron Gordon, all right? Jonathan Isaac. And Terrence Ross has to be there. All right. Those are the guys I don't want to move at all. Mo Bamba is another one that's like on the edge, but hey, if you got to, you got to. But if you have those three in focus and you kind of move around some other pieces, I think this team legitimately has the opportunity to be one of the top teams in the East. That said, I'm going to sign off. All for sports. I think the trades you make now, Dennis Smith Jr., Jamal Crawford, go after Kenneth Faried. Pick those guys up on the cheap. See what they can bring to the table. They're Steve Alford type of guys. Bring them in. All right? Except Jamal Crawford. But bring them in. And then see what you can get for DeRozan and Trey Lyles or DeRozan and Rudy Gay. Those are some of the moves I would look to make. There's not that much else I would say I would go ahead and chase. I think Drew Holiday would be too much of a price to pay. All for sports sign off. My Magic review, a bit of rambling, but I'm looking at the stats. I'm not just talking blah, blah, blah. So you saw the stats. You saw the kind of moves I'm looking at making. I think that would make them a legit contender for championship on the East. All for Sports sign off. Peace.